Hello, hello.
Yes, yes, sir.
Now I am going to start
Yes,
the
sir.
lecture 2 for the compiler design. Another theory subject PLC 502. So in the continuation of the lecture 1, just I am considering from the scanner. So what is the role of the scanner? The scanner just do the lexical analysis. Means as a input you have some string, and here just I am considering the example of a index index available in bracket square brackets, and it is equal to 4 plus 2. So it is a sort of string. Then the scanner starts scanning from left to right. So the scanner first detect a, then square bracket, then index, then closing of square bracket, then sign, equal sign, or you can say assignment sign, then 4, then plus, then 2. So this is the way of scanning. So scanning, it is a sort of lexical analysis. Lexical analysis, what is this? Lexis. Lexis is a word which is used to find different number of tokens. And how will you get the tokens? This is nothing but the sequence of characters. So whenever you write any string, then it contains a number of characters, letters, special symbols. So it collects sequences of characters into meaningful units. And what is the meaningful units? Are called the tokens. So these are called the tokens: A, index, bracket, starting bracket, closing bracket, and assignment sign, number 4, and then operator symbol plus, and then 2. So this is the way you can see and check. A is the identifier. Okay. What is the identifier? Let me know. Anybody? What is the identifier? What is the identifier? Anybody? Then
सर ये वेरिएबल होता है एक तरह का,
yes,
मतलब
yes,
जिसको वैल्यू असाइन होती है.
yes. Okay, right. So these are the different variables. So A is the variable. This is called the identifier, and then starting of the bracket, square bracket, that is called the left bracket. Then index. Index is again identifier. Closing bracket or the right bracket, and then assignment or the equal sign. This is called the assignment sign, and then number 4. The plus sign, that is the operator symbol, 2 is the number. So this is the way of scanning. So other operation, it may enter literals into the literal table. So where we store in these all type of tokens stored in the literal table. So we store in the literal table. There are another table that is called the symbol table. So we can store such type of tokens into the literal table. So another thing is the parser. What is the parser? Parser is also called the syntax tree or the syntax analysis. So parsing starts after the scanning. So parser do the syntax analysis. It determines the structure of the program. The results of syntax analysis are a parse tree or a syntax tree. So we can develop the syntax tree with the help of the parser. So just again we are considering the example here, the same example, A index 4 plus 2. Then First, we will draw the parse tree for that. So parse tree, we can also call the syntax tree. So syntax tree, it is nothing but the abstract syntax tree. That is the abstract syntax tree. Just we are going to optimize that. So we do the optimization, and after that we can again prepare the same tree. So this is called the parse tree. So how we can develop the parse tree? Earlier as a input we have the expression, or it may be a string. So the expression we divide into assign expression again divided into two different expressions, and in the midway you can check there is a equal sign. Again on the left side expression divided subscript expression, and again there is a division expression, and then brackets. Again in the midway there is the expression, then after expression there is the identifier. Similarly in the left side again expression, it is converted to identifier. Then what is the identifier here? A. In the left side there is a A, and then index, then go to the assign expression. In the middle form you can get the assignment operator or assignment symbol. So A, and then brackets, then index, then closing square bracket, then equal sign, come to the center of the assign expression, and then go to the right side. So right side, at the end we will get the 4, and then in the additive expression plus, and then 2. So this is the way to implement the parse tree. So for the parse tree, first we will break the string into different number of expressions, and then we can ultimately get the same expression in the form of the tokens. So at the end, we will get a number of tokens. A is nothing but the token, again index token, again 4 token, and then 2 token. And in the center, you can check there is a equal sign assignment operator. So this is also come under the category of the tokens. So these are all called the different number of tokens. So we break the parse tree, we implement the parse tree, or we develop the syntax tree, and at the end we will get the different tokens. So this is again the breaking of the same. How we are going to optimize that? So this is the optimization: assign or expression, subscript expression, identifier like this. We can break as per our choice. What is the output needed? We can design the syntax tree. We can develop. And in the next unit, I will tell you how we will design the syntax tree, or how we will develop the parse tree. So it is just the starting of the lectures, and in the next unit, I will tell you about the designing of the syntax tree. So what is the role of the semantic analyzer? Now you have already studied about the lexical analyzer and syntax analyzer. Third one is the semantic analyzer. So lexical analyzer, it breaks the expression into number of lexes, or we can say number of tokens. Syntax analyzer, which implements the parse tree or the syntax tree, and it separates out all the different number of tokens. Earlier we have already checked the number of tokens. So the role of the semantic analyzer, the semantics of a program are its meaning. So what is the actual meaning of the expression? Means for what you are going to write the program, whether the program which is implemented by the programmer working properly or not. You are writing a number of expressions, but it is not working properly. You are not getting the output at the end. It means your semantic is wrong, means your logic is not right. You are not getting the particular output for which you have designed your program. So this is called the semantic. Semantic means actual meaning. So the role of the semantic analyzer, it checks everything. That is the semantics of a program or its meaning as opposed to its syntax or structure that. So it has contradiction with the syntax or the structure. Determines some of its running time behavior prior to execution. So before the execution, it checks only the running time behavior. Running time behavior means whether your program working properly or not. It is giving you the right output or not. So in this case, static semantics means declaration and type checking. So in this case, we check what we have declared at the starting of the program. So declaration was done by the programmer, it is okay or not. And then the semantic analyzer also check the type checking. Now, what are the different attributes? The extra pieces of information computed by semantic analyzer. The extra pieces of information computed by semantic analyzer. Example, now we are considering A index equal 4 equal to. The syntax tree annotated with attributes. Here, in case of the right side, there is a need to come the plus sign. Earlier, we have the string A index equal 4 plus 2. But here we are writing equal 4 equal 2. It means the semantic analyzer will check the scanning. So this is the duty of the programmer. He will do the correction here. 4 equal to 2. Even though here instead of the equal sign on the right side, it will come, it will replace by the plus sign, 4 plus 2. So the syntax tree annotated with the attributes. So again, we will implement the syntax tree, and at the end, if we are getting the exact output, then it is okay. Otherwise, there is a problem in the semantic, in our logic during the development of the program. Now we can check the annotated syntax tree. So this is the annotated syntax tree. Again, we will update the same syntax tree, assign this, like subscript expression integer, additive expression integer, and then we can write the identifier. This is again identifier, number. So A index 4 2. So here just we are optimizing our problem. We are avoiding the complex type of expressions. And here our target is to save the memory. So we optimized the structure, but the meaning remains same. We will get the same output as we need. The source code optimizer. Again, what is the role of the source code optimizer? The earliest point of most optimization steps is just after semantic analysis. So optimization starts after the semantic analysis. So if the semantic analysis is okay, means your logic is okay, type checking is okay, then we apply a number of optimization techniques, or optimization technique involve a number of steps. So then how we can reduce the memory requirement, how we can make our program efficient. So for making the efficient program, we use the optimization techniques, and optimization technique will involve a number of optimization steps. The code improvement depends only on the source code and as a separate phase. So how we are providing the optimization? So optimization means first we are using the code improvement during writing the program. That is, whenever we write the source code, then how we can improve our code. Then first we check the repetition. There are number of functions which repeat again and again for getting the same output. Then we delete those repetitive functions, and ultimately we save the memory and make our program efficient or speedy. Individual compiler exhibit a wide variation in optimization kinds as well as placement. So there are number of compilers currently we are using, and it depends upon the optimization techniques, which one is very fast, which one is more efficient compiler. So here just we are checking only for the a particular string a index 4 plus 2. Automation again the same thing, subscript expression. Here again we are dividing the same. So just we are applying. Here we are not writing about the positive sign or the equal sign. Just we are going to remove that. We are just here doing the optimization. So removing those operator symbols. Now we have only identifiers and involvement of different numbers. So assign expression divided into subscript expression and additive expression, then identifier A, identifier index, and two numbers. So we are avoiding here the different number of things. Now you can check again in the next slide, assign expression. Here identifier A index on the right side, just I am not writing the 4 plus 2, but instead of that there is a 4 plus 2 means 6. Here we are writing 6 directly. No need to write 4 as a identifier integer and then again as a integer. So these are the numbers. So there is a no involvement of the plus sign, and directly we are writing here the number 6. So again there is a code improvement and there is a saving of the memory, and it makes the compiler speed more. So optimization techniques we apply during writing the source code. Optimization on intermediate code. So there is an involvement of various intermediate code. At the starting, we write full expression and then we check how we can reduce a number of steps to write the same expression. Our target is to get the same output. So at the early stage, we have A index 4 plus 2. Now just we are replacing 4 plus 2 by a temporary variable. T is equal to 4 plus 2. Again we are storing the same into a temporary variable T. Now we can write A index is equal to T. Again T is equal to 6. Meaning is same. A index is equal to T. That is on the first one. In first box you can check A index T. Similarly in the second box again A index is equal to T. But in the first box T is equal to 4 plus 2. 4 it is a number plus operator symbol, 2 again number, but we are storing into a temporary variable and no need to write like 4 plus 2. In the second step, in the second box, just it assigns 6 to the t, and a index is equal to t remains same. And at the third box, you can check yourself, a index is equal to 6. Just we are replacing the temporary variable by the value. Okay, so we can write here equal to 6. So such type of techniques is called the optimization technique on intermediate code. So these are the intermediate code because we are using the temporary variable and we are assigning the same value, and at the end just we are optimizing our expression. So earlier it was long one, but now we can write a index is equal to 6, but the output will not alter, it will remain same. So this is called the optimization technique. So with the help of this, we can change our long expression into the small expression and the output remains same. So such type of techniques are called the optimization technique. A possible code sequence. Now you can say A index is equal to 6, and on the right side, these are the different mnemonics which you have already knowledge, you have already studied about the microprocessor. So these are the assembly codes, these are the special mnemonics which we use. Move R0, index R0, 2, move R1 to ampersand sign A. So these are the special mnemonics. So how we can develop or we can store the same value by writing the assembly codes. So the target code optimizer, similarly we can use the same optimization technique on the output side, that is called the target code. So if we will use the optimization technique on the right side, that is called the target code optimizer. So it improves the target code generated by the code generator. So target code, it is nothing but the result, or we can say the output of the program. So how will improve the target code, or how we will do the optimization. So address modes choosing, here we choose a number of address modes, and then instructions replacing, we replace some instructions, as well as redundant eliminating. Here we also eliminate the redundant expression, means no need to write the same expression again and again, or the expression which are useless, means just we are storing the same item in the suppose R0, and again we are taking move R1, and this is available at the address of A, and then add R1 to R0, and then move star R1 comma 6. We can also write the same assembly codes like on the right side. Move R0 index SHL R0 move like this. So these are the assembly codes. Even though we can reduce or we can do the optimization technique on the right side. So these are called the optimization technique on the target code. Again, the principal data structure for communication among phases. So the data structure we use on the different phases. So we have already studied about the tokens. A scanner collects characters. So tokens are nothing but the different number of characters, and these are called the tokens as a value of an enumerated data type for tokens. So there are a number of data types we can use for the tokens. May also preserve the string of characters. So it can also store the string of characters or other derived information such as name of identifier, value of number, or token. Another we have already studied about so these are called the basic principal data structure. Okay, for the different phases of the compiler: tokens, syntax tree, symbol table. So syntax tree, you have already studied about the syntax tree. Syntax tree also called the parse tree, and this is pointer based structure. You can develop the syntax tree for each expression. How will you develop the syntax tree? We can tell you, or we can teach you in the next unit. So symbol table, we can store all the information regarding the tokens or different variables or constants or different number of data types. So it keeps information and it is related to the identifiers or the functions, variable, etc. Interact with almost every phase of compiler. So we can use the symbol table and it provides the interaction with all phase of the compiler. Access operation need to be constant type. So we can access any operation with the help of the symbol table, and one or several hash tables are often used. So there are again some hash tables which have the connectivity with the symbol table. Similarly, another is called the literal table. The literal table, we can store constants, strings, reducing size of program. So literal table, with the help of this, we can also reduce the size of the program, and then it is stored into the literal table. Quick insertion and lookup are essential, and quick insertion and lookup, this is also provided or assist by the literal table. So the symbol table and literal table, you can easily understand. Symbol table, we can store all the data related to the expression, data types, constant, variable, identifier, etc. In the literal table, we can store all the constants, strings, etc. So again, data structure for the different phases. Different phases are the analysis phase and the synthesis phase. So data structure, again, we are concentrating on the intermediate code. So intermediate code kept as an array of text string. So in the intermediate code, it is in the form of the text string, or we can say the array of text string. So a temporary text or a linked list of structure depending on kind of intermediate code. So what is the intermediate code? Intermediate code can be developed with the help of the three address code. So with the help of the three address code, you can develop the intermediate code, and we can explain also such type of different definitions of the intermediate code or other related like the temporary files in the next unit, because in that case we can elaborate about the intermediate code, because how will you develop the intermediate code, this will come in the next unit. So temporary files hold the product of intermediate steps. Temporary files are nothing but it can store the different steps of the intermediate codes during compilation. So these are the intermediate steps which will be developed by the programmer and can be stored in the temporary file. Solve the problem of memory constraints or back patch address during code generation. So we can store the different data into the temporary files. Now, what is the structure of a compiler? There are multiple views from different angles. First is called the logical structure, physical structure, sequencing of the operation. A major impact of the structure depends on the reliability, efficiency, usefulness, maintainability. So the structure of compiler depends on logical and physical based structures, and it must be reliable and efficient. Analysis and synthesis. What is the analysis and synthesis? We have already discussed regarding this. Analysis part of the compiler analyzes the source program to compute its properties. So analysis there are again divided the analysis phase, lexical analysis called syntax analysis, semantic analysis, as well as optimization. So all such comes under the category of the analysis phase. More mathematical and better understood. Synthesis part, in this case, we will do the code generation as well as optimization. Optimization is again done for the object code here and more specialized. So analysis phase is called the first phase, another phase is called the synthesis phase. And in case of synthesis phase, we do the code generation and then again optimization. The two parts can be changed independently of the other. So we can change analysis and the synthesis each other. Front end and back end. What is the front end and what is the back end? The operations of the front end and depend on the source language. So front end means the source program, source language. And at the front end, what we are using, scanner, parser, semantic analyzer, as well as intermediate code synthesis. So at the front end, what type of activities we are doing for the compilation of the program, scanning, parsing, cementing, semantic analyzer, as well as intermediate code generation. So this comes under the category of the front end. The operations of the backend depends on the target language. The backend means what we are getting at the output. So before getting the output or how we will get the output, before that we do code generation as well as optimization analysis. So again, as I have already told you, again do the optimization to get the target code. So the intermediate representation is the medium of communication between them. This structure is important for compiler portability. Now the passes. So there are more number of passes. The repetition to process the entire source program before generating code are referred as passes. So we apply input and at the end we will get the output. How we will get the output? Then we process our data and divided the whole work into number of passes. So the compiler may be a single pass or maybe a multi-pass. If we are dividing our work into number of divisions, if we are managing our work into number of sections or divisions, then it is called the multi-pass, or otherwise it is called the single pass. So in case of single pass, the compiler will process all the program into a single pass. It will do each and everything hand in hand. That is lexical analysis, syntax analysis, and semantic analysis, intermediate code generation, and then target code generation, and then optimization, and then output. Everything we will get in the first phase or means in one pass. In case of multi-pass, we divide the lexical analysis, syntax analysis, semantic analysis in one pass, and then intermediate code generation, and then target code generation, then optimization we will do into another pass. So this is called the single pass and multi-pass. Language definition and compiler, the lexical and syntactic structure of a programming language. So lexical and syntactic structure of a programming language depends on the regular expression and context-free grammar. So we must be aware by the regular expression, what are the different regular expression, what is the context-free grammar, the semantics of a programming language in English description, language reference manual or language definition. I will tell you later about the language definition and compilers. So the compiler options and interfaces, how we'll provide the interface, how we will convert input to output, how we will get the high level language into the low level language, and the result again we can display in the form of the high level language. So such type of things or processing is called a mechanism. Mechanism for interfacing with the operation system, input and output facilities, access to the file system of the target machine, option to the user for various purposes, specification of listing the characteristic and code optimization. So this is the error handling because it has also provided the errors. So this is the basic rule of the compiler. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now your class is up to 11:20.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now,